so on the next slide, I think we have some cushioning, and maybe this will further answer your question, Nikki. But if it's redness like on an elbow or some kind of bony part that you have that is because of positioning where you're always on your bottom or your elbows are always rested on an armrest, you may want to consider getting some foam. And there are many, many different types of foam, but memory foam is usually the best foam to keep in first contact with your skin with a more supportive foam underneath. So for example, let's say you're sitting in your wheelchair and you know that you need to have some cushioning and some padding. You may want more of a gel cushion underneath for some support, but you may want to put memory foam over the top of that. And you also may need to go one step even further, and you may need to cut a hole out of the memory foam where you know you have a piece of bone that is always in contact with that foam. So your question about the elbow is that if there's an elbow always resting on something, you may not only want to put some foam over the top of what your elbow's resting on, but you may want to put a second layer of foam where you cut out a hole so that your arm is resting on the foam, but there's a hole right where that elbow is, so your elbow isn't always in direct contact with the foam. And sometimes that can help alleviate pressure. I usually recommend you don't have to buy fancy wheelchair cushions. You can even go to a store and buy the smallest mattress topper you can find, and then you can cut up that mattress topper to be lots of different layers and cut out holes of it. Some of the examples you hear on the right side of the slide are more advanced cushions that you would want to go see a specialist for, and they're filled with air. So there's air that fills all of those little individual cells that you see, and then the one on the bottom you can see where some of the cells don't have air, and that's because there's a lot of pressure in that area, and the cells that do have air sit you up, and then the area where it doesn't have air, that allows some of the bone to not be in contact with the cushion. So it's almost like those areas are floating and not in direct contact. And then this cushion on the right is an example. It's very expensive. I would be shocked if any of us could afford it. But there's even cushions that can circulate air and measure, even if you shift in your wheelchair and now I have more weight on my left, the cushion alternates air over there so that you're not putting as much pressure in certain areas. So try with foam inexpensively first yourself, but definitely if you are seeing areas of redness for extended periods of time, you may want to see a specialist, either a physical therapist or an occupational therapist or a physiotherapist that specializes in seating and pressure sores and relief of pressure sores. The next slide, I think, has some examples of mattresses and beds. Again, start inexpensive. Just get yourself a nice foam topper, cut out areas if you need to, if you always lay in the same position. Use pillows. Pillows are your friend. Use as many pillows as you need to support different areas of your body. If your knees are bent and locked in a certain position, put pillows under them to support them so that you're comfortable. The big thing is to stay comfortable. There are fancier beds that the frame can adjust, like the third one there, the black and gray one that can raise your head and raise your feet. The bed on the far right can actually tilt from side to side. So if you are stuck in a position on your back and you don't have a caregiver that can roll you, this bed can tilt. But again, these are things that are very expensive, and some insurances or health plans in different parts of the world will not pay for them. So start simple. The second one there is an air topper. So it's just like a memory foam topper, but it's air. So that little box is a little computer that alternates the air through different parts of the mattress so that you can simulate moving and changing positions a little bit. But none of these things, no foam cushions, no mattress toppers, none of this will 100% prevent pressure sores. You do still need to change positions, and you do still need to get up and move multiple times throughout the day.
And I think that you must be always creative. So I know many of those devices are expensive. You can always buy a pillow, like Karen said. Pillows are friends. And you can cut in the middle and make a hole so you can put your elbow, or you can rest a place that has a bone inside this hole so you don't, you take out the pressure of this place. So be creative. This is the key.